I mean, yeah, I can't do it by myself.
You lie.
What's up, Mrs. Abraxas?
You
Abraxas'
got
mommy.
Then I got what?
the one that belongs on the short bus. Cinema.
Yeah. Oh, not a whole lot. What's up with you, honey?
Chilling and relaxing today. I gotta go help nephew fix his roof.
What?
If you see something pop up underneath here or
Yeah.
down here, let me know and I can come in and help.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
Bob,
that
I
kid's
know
a pain in my tush,
that.
but I love him.
So, Mom, I hear you have lots of stories about the old days.
You really want me to be a pain in your tush? I can make that happen. I
Oh,
heard what you said.
I know you did. I've got a lot of stories about the old days.
I heard, I believe, and a lot of other people believe that technology is making people stupid. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. When I was young, they never had the technology they have today, and kids use their minds,
Yeah,
their imagination.
I feel like we don't use our imagination enough.
Nope, we sure don't. Unfortunately, the older people do that grew up in the day, but the younger people don't.
That's one thing I love about my son. You can give him two sticks and he still uses his imagination, and he's 16 years old. He'll go out
That's
there and beat up
good.
a tree.
That's really good.
Right. It's because even though he's 16 years old, he ain't up on technology like everybody else. Like he gets the weekend every other weekend now, but he gets the weekends just so that way he can like be who he wants to be
Right?
and go out and do things and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he has to really hone in on his chores and using his imagination and doing things other than sitting with their phone like this. Oh, I'm sorry, it's like this.
My grandson, he's 12 years old. He's had a computer since he was 3. He's
Don't.
had, I don't know how many iPads. And he
Oh,
finally talked his dad into getting him a phone.
so that's one thing we got them the learning computers. The ones that taught you how to type and stuff.
Leapfrog and stuff.
Right. My
Yeah.
son, my son just used them as target practice. He would take, how you get those bowling ball sets. Well, he would lose all of his pins, so he would just take all of his toys and roll the ball and see if he could knock them over.
Yeah, just a second. Chris!
Chris, get in here.
I'm working on it, you old people.
It looks like somebody come in, honey.
That would be me.
There should be one more.
Hey, miss.
Hey, Ma.
I wish Lunatic Bob was up here too, because I know you two have a great connection, and being able to discuss the how the older days compared to the newer days would be really amazing if both of you were here, because again, you guys have more experience in the older days.
See,
Well,
now,
I know back when I was growing up in Litchfield, the whole neighborhood took care of your kids.
Right.
If need be. If they were out playing, they got hurt, they could go to anybody's house and get patched up.
Nowadays, you
Right.
can't do that because literally, you never know who's going to be an offender or anything along those lines.
Right.
Exactly. And back then, we didn't have to worry about staying home by ourselves, didn't have to worry about locking our doors or
I mean,
anything else.
if you're stupid enough to come into my house, you're stupid enough for the consequences. Again, I have 5 guard dogs. So
Exactly.
if you want to enter my house, go ahead. I feel sorry for you because one of them is the quiet type. She will bite you first and then growl.
And then ask questions.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
See,
So
back when mom grew up, her mom and dad were really, really strict, right? But my dad, he was just strict. He wasn't like overly strict, but like I know that mom grew up, her mom and dad were probably really strict, weren't they, mom?
Yeah, they were. I lived a very
sheltered.
sheltered life. I
Yeah,
didn't know nothing about nothing until after I was married,
right,
so to
right,
speak.
I did not live a
And
very sheltered life. I was brought up with a very rocky parents. But if I was in trouble or whatever, I would definitely know it.
right. Because
yeah,
sometimes all you had to do is look at that look on your dad's face and be like, "Oh fuck, I messed up."
It wasn't my dad's face, it was my mom's face.
Yeah,
well, my mother, she was a disciplinarian, and my dad did when he needed to. He did not do it all the time.
I grew up in a dysfunctional family. If mom wasn't out running away, dad was out cheating, dysfunctional. Um,
yeah.
so if dad had to come whoop our ass, he was pissed.
I was one of those kids that never got into trouble very often because I didn't want the consequences.
Right. See,
Right.
So,
Well,
my brother. Go ahead.
I know very well that if I were to get in trouble with my mom, my dad was going to be the end result. And if I didn't want the end result, I knew to behave. But I had older siblings that would throw me under the bus constantly.
I
Right.
did too. I had 2 older brothers.
See,
So I know
my
what
my
you mean.
brothers were older than me, and I watched them when I was growing up, so I knew not to really piss off my dad. I did it one time by throwing my grade card out the window, thinking that nobody would find it. Well, my brothers found it and brought it into my dad. Oh, I got my ass beat so hard I had to lay on my stomach because I couldn't sit down. I never again. Nope. Don't want to piss daddy off.
But
Your cinnabon is probably looking at my dogs like, hey, there's other doggies there. And she looks at them all.
Hi,
But
Cinnamon.
but no, I fully agree that technology has
Ruined.
ruined the youth of America.
yep.
Hell, I was watching I forget, There was this one guy who was asking, like, when was the Constitution written and all this stuff. And these are college kids, and they can't even answer. And it's like, oh my God, you guys in college? Harvard college kids, you know? And I'm like, man, you're stupid.
See, 90% of the Harvard graduates and whatnot paid their way in.
Right.
Mommy
Right.
and daddy gave them enough money to get them in there. Mommy and daddy paid enough money to make sure they passed their classes. You see it all the time. Well,
Yep.
his dad's one of our biggest donators. We can't,
Yeah.
and it's like, so he gets to run around and be a total dickhead.
Yep. Yep. It's true. That is very true. But there's like no common sense anymore. You know, I'm like, you know, back in school, you had to learn all the history, but they're taking it away. They're taking the history away from kids, and it makes me sad because, like, you're not going to learn any of the important shit. Like, what is the point of school anymore? There's
Well,
not.
it's like they don't have writing and printing, it's cursive now. And they still don't have
No,
writing in the
no,
classroom.
you mean no? They took away cursive, Mom.
And what are
It's
they
all
going to
printed.
do when they get a paper from someone older? How are they going to read that?
I know. Lunatic Mom was telling Kyle that she's just gonna get pissed and start writing a cursive, and then you ain't gonna know what the hell's going on.
Exactly.
And Chris always makes a joke. It'd be easy for us to go to war with Gen Z. We'll just write all our battle plans in cursive, and they won't know how to read it.
Well, cursive nowadays is printing.
Right.
Right.
They
Well,
don't have the regular writing like what we were taught.
I can remember Lunatic Dad was telling us that Kyle got a check and he had to sign it, and Dad told him to sign it. Well, he was writing. We're just writing, you know, in printing the thing. And Dad's like, "No, cursive," and he's like, "What's that?"
And Kyle's 22. He ain't much older than
Right.
my daughter, and she can write in cursive.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh, I don't know.
But
I
Mom,
feel
you're
bad.
holding Cinnabon, and my dog is now jealous.
I'm
I feel bad.
sorry.
He I don't know what's been going on with him. If he ain't up my ass, he's up somebody else's.
Yeah.
He said, I just want some loving so I know I'm going to be okay.
Yep.
But I feel bad for the generations that are coming up. Like, I mean, you know, when we're dead and gone, just think one of them people are going to be ruling the country. It's like, ugh.
At least we'll be dead and gone.
Right. You won't have to worry about it. But, you know, I think, like, what about my kids? You know, what are they going to have to go
They'll
through?
be
What
the
is the crazy?
president.
Well, they could probably do it. I mean, they have a better head on their shoulders than a lot of younger people.
Did
You
you
know,
see that children nowadays, 9, 10, 11-year-olds, are going into Sephora and just ruining the makeup on the shelves?
No.
really. Um,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. I was watching this one girl. She went to pick out a lipstick or something, and no, it was a chapstick. And this young girl, she was probably 10 or 11. She grabbed it out of her hands, opened the package, put it on her lips, and she's like, "Nope, it's not for me. I don't like that flavor." And then she threw it back on the shelf, and it's like, what the fuck? What? I mean, to me, that should be considered shoplifting when you do something stupid like that, you know? And the person that was going to buy that, she's like, I was going to buy that. And she's like, well, I don't want it. You can have it if you want.
Not after
It's
it's
like,
been on your lips. That's
really?
how
It's
you
like,
spread freaking herpes.
I don't know where your lips have been. you know? No, so I just don't understand kids like that. Like there's no consequence. Like they took it all away from the parents when
Well,
they took the right to discipline your kids
The
into the government.
reason the reason they took that away from the parents on disciplining their kids was because so many of the parents were absolutely positively beating their kids, breaking
Right.
their arms and legs and stuff. That's why they
Right.
took that away from the parents.
Now I'm sorry. When I was growing up, we got our asses beat if we needed our asses beat. There were,
But they weren't beating the asses. They were hitting them with their fists in the
right.
face and stuff.
there's a
Yeah.
difference between discipline and being abusive.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And you don't have to sit there and beat your child in order for them to be obedient or, a good kid. Jordan, he used to get his butt whooped, but now it's just like, dude, this ain't right. And we sit down and talk to him. He still has
Right.
consequences, but you've met him.
Right.
Yep.
He's
He's
a good
not
kid.
he's not out there doing drugs. I mean, he did vape twice in school. But he also he got in trouble for it. He had to he was our servant for and our maid for a couple of weeks.
Right. Yep. But I mean, I remember one time I said, I'm gonna beat you on live stream, and Chris like, not literally. And
I
I'm
think
like,
Chris needs his ass whipped. I hit him.
well, Mom, you're allowed to get away with that because you're his mama and you're older, and people are gonna respect you, and like just like when Chris got in trouble when he was younger. I remember the story. Something about you backhanded him or whatever, and then you called the cops or something,
Oh, yeah. He was 15 years old.
and he mouthed
I
off or
asked him
something.
to do up a small sink full of dishes. He said, I ain't going to do that. He says, do it your damn self. So I backhanded him.
I would have beat him. I would have beat him.
And I called the cops, and the cop laughed at me. When I told him what had happened, and I said, you don't get over here now and get him. I said, bring a scoop shovel because I'm going to throw him through the window or the wall.
And
If
the
he
cops
does it
afterwards.
again.
I love
He
it.
said, now, Carol, settle down. I said, who the hell are you to call me by my first name? And he said, I'm your neighbor. And I had no idea he was a cop. And he told me, he said, Carol, if all kids were as great as yours, we wouldn't have any problems around here. He said he's a good kid.
I remember you told Dunny to clean up his room one time, and Dad put the cars out to the road or whatever. He didn't know.
That was Brian cleaned up his room. And there was a whole great big huge trash bag of little Hot Wheels. Must have been 1,000 cars in there.
And Mom,
some were brand new. Then my husband thought he was going to help me out by taking it out to the trash. And he did. Brian got up and asked me where the cars were. I said, what cars? He said, my Hot Wheels. I said, where were they? They were in the dining room in a trash bag. I said, your dad took it out to the trash. No! I said, yes, he did. But that's back when they didn't have all these problems with the kids
Yeah.
like they do now. Nowadays, the kids, I would never buy my child a gun.
Right.
Now, mind you, when my kids were 7, 8 years old, they each had a shotgun. But their dad taught them how and when to use
Right.
them.
Yeah.
They didn't take them to school and shoot somebody or even try.
Exactly. I remember when you told Denny to clean up his room with his clothes or whatever, and he said you threw them away or something like that.
Oh, I went ahead and cleaned up the room. The bed wasn't made, and the whole 9 yards. He had to remake the bed and all.
And didn't you take their stuff out of their room one time
Yep,
or something?
yep.
The bed and everything. And if
I
you
said
did
you
the
didn't
dishes
clean
and
your room.
yep, and then she said like if they didn't do the dishes right, she'd take everything out of the cupboards. That's how her mom was raised.
That's
That's
what
our
my
Teresa.
mama did. And it wasn't the one that did the dishes. It was always me that had to rewash everything.
I thought you said you did that to the kids.
No, my
No.
kids never did dishes.
Uh, yeah.
I
Are
see
you
that
sure?
was not up on your lap.
Yeah. This is
That
John's
pretty
dog.
baby.
This is the one we've been fighting to save for, oh God, 2 months now.
Yeah.
He says, "I pretty baby."
He is a pretty baby.
And he thinks it's a lap dog.
He does.
What type of lies are you telling?
I'm not telling any lies.
You made me do dishes.
Well, it
You
didn't hurt
you,
you.
hey, wait a second. Did you eat there? Did you sleep there? Then you're gonna fucking work
Doesn't
there.
matter. I have more important things to do, like my homework.
Fuck homework.
On the weekends,
Yep.
your homework should have been done Friday night.
Exactly.
No, I had all weekend to do it.
Thank
No, it
you.
should have been done Friday night.
If anybody says get a golden retriever, this is what they
Where did
mean
Missy
by
go?
their. I don't know where she went.
I don't know.
You are hurting me. You are
But-
not a lapdog.
Hey, Ma, she has a puppy on her lap.
That's why
a
that was on
lapdog.
Ma's lap.
But no, we have a rule that if you eat here, you sleep here, you work here, you pay your part.
Exactly. That's the way it should be.
Like it's different for guests, but
My God, Dad's wife didn't know what to do.
you are not a fucking lapdog, dude. But no, at the same
And
point in time, like my kids can live out on their own, you know?
yep, you're just teaching them.
Exactly. If you don't teach them as a kid, they never learn as an adult.
Yep. Well, when we went to see Lunatic Dad and his wife, her and I hit it off.
She's an
First
amazing
time we
woman.
met.
She is an amazing woman.
Yes, she is, and I love her to death. And I asked her, I said, shouldn't we take care of this food? She said, yeah, I'll get it. And I got up and started closing up the boxes.
Exactly. And people don't do that anymore.
No, they don't. I had fixed a big meal for the kids one time. It was a holiday meal. I did the whole meal. And I went ahead. They all went in and sat down while I cleaned up. I said, "You guys can clean up. I'm going to sit down."
Right? Like, don't just
Okay, if that's the way it's going to be, Mom. I said, "That's the way it's going to be."
Abraxas, you had to cook before you were in the 6th grade. Get over it. You fucking learned how to cook, didn't you?
And my oldest, you've met him, I
Yeah,
think. He says he cooks better than his mom does.
bullshit.
Oh, it's a possibility he does. I have forgotten a lot of stuff that I knew. I learned how to, he just learned probably 4 years ago how to make red apple pies. And he made 13.
Damn.
Took them and gave them away. All
I
except for 2.
I try to cook, but I just don't have the patience. I have ADHD, so I'll
Yeah.
forget what's on the stove and I'll be like, "Oh crap," because I'll end up going and doing something else. At least you finally decided to get down.
But it's just the idea that I'm sure you know what a blanket sleeper is.
Yep.
Back when those first come out, they were 39 to 59 cents a piece. And if I would have known the price was going to go up to $30,
You would have bought a bunch back then.
I would have bought a whole 3 or 4 cases of them.
See, and that's the thing. Like back then, after everybody like hit, the depression era, and things started getting better, if people would have realized how outrageous the prices were gonna come to, they would have stocked up.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, I was born in the 50s, so I really didn't know the Depression era.
My grandma used to tell me about the depression era. She was a teacher, and my grandpa was a crime scene investigator. He took pictures at the crime scenes.
Right.
And a crime scene photographer, that's what it is. And she's like, "We didn't have a lot of money, but we had money, and our kids were fed." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you got to think, Grandma, all these people, not everybody had, 2 incomes." And she goes, "Well, not all the women thought they could do things either."
Exactly.
I was on my friend Tanya's live last night. I wasn't on it, but I was in it. And one of the ladies was like, "My husband or my fiance makes me tell him where I'm going out to eat. What up, Froggy? I'm gonna be or what up, Draco? I'll be leaving here as soon as this is done. Wanna call me on my way up there?" But she's like, I have to tell him what I'm wearing. I have to ask him what my what shape of nails I should have, and all of this other stuff. And it's like, are we back in the 1950s? If a man is going to tell me, "Oh, well, you should consult me on what color nails you have and what shape you have," I'm going to ask, are you going to pay for them? Because that's the only way you should have. Unless I say, Hey, I'm thinking about going to get my nails done. Do you have any preference? That's different. That's me asking. But it shouldn't be, I'm gonna go, you shouldn't wear that. I don't like that. You can't go on a trip by yourself. If I want to go on a trip by myself with my own money, that's on me, not you, boo boo.
Wow.
That's why I was like, are we back in 1950s? Because I know back in 1950, everybody's like, you know, there was a certain way women were supposed to act.
Oh, I agree.
Barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen, and quiet. We don't live in that era anymore.
Yeah. My husband, we were married over 48 years, like 3 days from being 3 months. And he never told me how to wear my hair, how much makeup to wear, what color my nails should be, or nothing. He
Well,
never told me, honey, you need to clean house because we're having company. You need to cook this or this or this. We never had that problem. I know a lot of them did back at that in those days. But
there were
Kevin
some
and I never had that.
there were some good men out there that's like, no, it's okay. They allowed their women to have freedom back then. But
Right.
nowadays, there are men that still believe that women should be seen and not heard, and they're a token. Um, Take your butt to the kitchen, Froggy. LOL. Like that will happen without a fight. Yeah. See, you tell me to take my ass to the kitchen. You're gonna go to the kitchen and make me a sandwich with a knife in your spleen.
Yeah. I never had that problem. He would ask me if he wanted a sandwich or something. He'd say, honey, would you please go make me a sandwich?
Right.
He would help me do the holiday cooking and stuff. He would help me make cookies and decorate them.
We'll see. And that was a great man. And my grandpa was the
Yes.
same. My grandpa helped clean. My grandpa helped cook. My grandpa made their furniture. Um, like my grandpa was right there to help my grandma in every aspects of the way. And I look at all these people that's like, oh yeah, I gotta have supper done by the time my husband's home or he's crabby. Okay, why can't he pick supper up on the way home? Why do
Or
you
fix
have
it himself.
right? It, I see so many women. Oh well, they just had a baby, and it's oh, I gotta go get supper done before he comes home. Dude, you just had a baby. He could pick supper up on the way home. No, 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 no. I gotta have it done or he'll get mad. There's been so many times I've literally just ordered pizza and he'll be like, where's supper? It's on the table. Why don't I have a hot meal? Why do I have this? And it's like, because your wife just had your damn baby and she is relaxing.
Yeah.
It's the woman's job. No, bitch. The woman's job is to be independent, even there's a difference between being independent and cheating and being independent and being faithful. She can be independent in the relationship, make her own money, have 50-50 everything, contribute everything, and you being a controlling asshole.
Yep.
And I watch one too many Reddit videos, and I read way too much Reddit where all the girls are like, am I the asshole because I didn't cook my husband's dinner when he wanted it? It's like, no. If he wanted dinner, he could go cook it himself. I
Yeah.
actually have, um, I don't know if you were up there when RD was up there, but my great friend RD, literally, we were joking around in Dead by Daylight, and I'm like, what's your girlfriend? Well, now they're engaged, but what's your girlfriend's favorite snack? And he listed her favorite AM snack, her favorite PM snack, her favorite noontime snack, and bedtime snack. He listed her favorite dinners, how much ingredients she likes, and when, where, and I'm like, and right there, if a man wanted to, he would, because no man, he didn't have to memorize that. He don't have to go to the store to get her favorite nighttime snack every
Yep.
night. He does it because he loves her.
Exactly. It's just like I told my husband. I said, you go to work to earn money to pay the bills and stuff, and I'll keep the yard, the house, and the kids, and cooking and all that stuff. He said, you're not going to cook on the grill. That's my domain. You
Right.
can make the sides for that, but I get the grill.
I think
I
every guy,
said, okay.
I think every guy's that way. But like my significant other, literally, I'll be like, literally call him on the phone because it hurts to walk on my feet that day because I have
Right.
fibromyalgia. And I'll be like, hey, I heard today I'm not making supper. And he goes, that's okay. I'll take care of it. Or I heard today I can't move. Can you come help me? And he'll come help me.
Well,
And
good.
he'll check on me. And then every night he, this is sad and pathetic, but I fucking love it. He will walk in, make sure I'm asleep, and shut my light off. If I'm not asleep, he'll be like, hey, do you want your light off? I'm going to bed. I'll be like, yeah, shut my light off. But I will not shut my light off or turn my light on unless he is home. Why? Because that that's his thing. He comes in and he shuts my light off.
Right. But
But once
I don't
again,
know.
back in the old days, you really didn't have that with significant others. There were good significant others, but then again, it comes down to what they learned as children. Women are to be seen, not heard. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that. And I'm just amazed at how much women actually dealt with back then.
Well, my husband was my soulmate
And I fully believe in soulmates.
from the time that I was 9 years old. I met him on the bridge over the St. Joe River in Litchfield, Michigan. I looked at him and I said, you're mine and don't you ever forget it. Went home, told my mother I'd met my husband, and she told me I was crazy because I didn't know what the hell love was. Well, I ended up getting married 6 years later. I met him in July of 59, September of 65. We were man and wife at 4:05 in the afternoon.
Well, and again, there are times where you just run into somebody and you're like, that is my man.
And
100%.
yeah, and I feel really bad that he left. but he had no choice in the matter.
Right. I don't think he left on purpose. I
Well,
fully
he
believe
did. He did because he had prayed to God to take his life
Oh.
because he was in so much pain and stuff.
Well, that's kind of a different situation.
Exactly. But I still feel I'm married to him. I'd be married 58 years last year.
And that's one of those connections that's, I don't know if you believe in reincarnation or past lives, but that's one of those connections that you've had for past lives.
And as far as I'm concerned, I've had guys invite me out to dinner and stuff, and I just look at them. No, I don't think so. Well, why not? And I said, because you could never hold a candle to my first husband.
Right, that would be awfully big shoes to fill.
Exactly. And we did. The day after we got married, I looked out the window of the house we were living in, and it looked to me like horses in a field. It wasn't, it was deer. And he kind of laughed at me. He said, "Get dressed, honey. We're going to breakfast." We went and had breakfast, and shortly after we got home, my mother and dad and all the kids ended up over there.
Your son said, "What about the nagging wives? They are better seen than heard."
I'm
First of all, a nagging wife will not be a nagging wife if you actually get off your ass and do what you say when you say you're gonna do it.
Oh,
A
I
lot.
don't know. I've seen some wives that will nag their husbands until they get in the car to leave. And it's not because they said they were going to do something and just didn't do it.
And those women need psychological evaluation, some medication, and some therapy.
Yep,
If you're nagging at the person you supposedly love, then you don't love them.
right. And my husband knew I loved him because I did everything and even went to the bank first thing on Friday morning, cashed his check, brought him back $100 to make it back and forth to work, and I took the rest of it. Paid bills and got groceries. And if there was any money left over on the weekend, depending on how much it was, we would either go do something or we would have go out and buy supper, pizza and stuff, bring it home with a movie.
Right, which uh, I pay all the bills and he takes care of the household. And uh, we have an agreement in this household where I pay all the bills, but he takes care of all my wants and needs.
Yeah.
He still says today that that was the stupidest agreement he could ever ask for. I'm very spoiled.
Well, I was spoiled too, and it's hard not to be spoiled. And Chris
Right.
come up here, he said to take care of me because I needed it,
And you did. Uh,
which I think is marvelous for a son to leave his family to take care of his mom.
right. And when you guys I don't know what set them off, but something set them off. It set all my dogs off. Um in order to be able to leave your family and go take care of your mother, it takes a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Chopper, leave Coco alone. She's going to bite you. Yeah,
But
go bite him.
most kids nowadays don't care about their parents. Well, you weren't a good parent to me. Why should I go and help you?
Exactly. And what they don't realize is par- parenting is not, it don't come with an instruction manual.
Exactly.
It comes with the tools we learned from our own parents.
Yep.
And sometimes they don't want to change the way they parent, and the kid suffers. But other times the parent adds more tools to their little bucket.
Exactly. But I love my kids more than my life. And the same goes for my grandkids. I give my life for them.
Exactly. And that's the way it should be.
Mom,
What?
you made the dog scared of brooms.
Don't be doing that.
No, you made the dog scared of broomsticks.
Oh, when they got in that fight,
Mm-hmm.
why are they going nuts?
They're not. I went to go bring in the freaking broomstick, and all Tank did was bow her head.
Okay, so let me explain that one. My American Bulldog, Jordan was getting in trouble, and the one thing my American Bulldog does is try to corral all the other dogs away from what's going on. Well, Ghostly wanted to get involved, like get in between them and jump on them, like, hey, pay attention to me. My dog went up and grabbed his collar, and she would not let go of that collar. So I took the broomstick and put it in her mouth, and I'm like, no, get your butt in that kettle.
Well, hey.
So now she hates broomsticks because she's afraid it's going to go in her mouth.
Well, but it's just the idea that I love my kids and stuff. And I love growing up back when I grew up. I think the time should go back to that.
I think it should, but I also think that it should. I think that we should have the same rights that we have now, but the parenting should go back.
Yes.
Aim your camera away from the bathroom.
It is.
But back in the 50s, both parents didn't have to work in order to raise the kid.
The doggy tail.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
But yeah, I totally get that because there was so many women that were just housewives. You can't
Yep.
do that. You need 3.5 incomes just to make it nowadays.
Just to make it through.
Right, and especially if you don't have a college degree or anything like that, you're screwed.
Yep. Well, I quit. I went ahead and quit school in 65 because once I was married, they wouldn't let me go back to school. So I quit, and then I turned around and graduated in 94 with honors.
That's truly amazing.
And it was easy to learn when I went back.
And that's the thing. A lot of people don't go back.
Well,
Yeah,
I did. I got 2 diplomas. I got a little one covered in plastic that's a state certified, And then I got my regular diploma.
Oh, damn. See, that's another thing that we don't need is the abuse and the racism and the sexism and the.
They're just more weird ass words that people decided. Oh yeah, this is
Jordan!
racist.
I'm sorry, my son.
Oh, that's all right. He's being a little smartass.
No, he fully believes that.
But people are the one who makes it racist.
No, people are racist. When you hate a certain race, that's called racism. We're not talking about certain words. But he's 16 and knows it all. We'll put it that way. He's at that age.
Well, when I was his age, I had been married over a year.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah, he back then a lot of children, a lot of people were married at a young age. But there was
Yep.
also a lot of younger women getting married to older men.
The hell? They had daddy issues.
Well, mine was ridiculously older. He was 3 years older than me. He was 18.
That ain't ridiculously older. That's common nowadays. You want to see ridiculously older? I'm 39. My man is 56.
Okay, I got a question for you. Do you love him?
With every beat of my heart.
All right, he's not that much older then.
Right. And a lot of his sister didn't know my age until like my last birthday, because that's a long story. But she got mad. She's like, either you're robbing the cradle, or she has very bad daddy issues. I said both.
Well, hey.
But no, I do find that just by being with somebody who is older, that the way I grew up and the way he grew up are completely different.
Well, my husband, when he was 3 years old, would get on their back stoop,
Or adults.
open up the door. Bye, Mom, I'm going to play. And he would ride his bicycle away. Never knew where he was at.
Right. But that was back in the days where you could actually go explore and do things. And
Hey, I explore.
And the minute the neighbors seen him go by the houses, they would run and get their shears and put them on the stand right by the door, because they knew something was going to happen.
yeah, normally when my child goes and explores, it involves the police officers coming to my house.
What? No way.
Wow.
Not because he did anything, but because he got so lost, he don't know his way back home.
And then I figure out my way back home sometimes.
And so it's just a horrible experience with him going and exploring.
Well, hey, he's learning new things, and he's not really getting in trouble, which is good. Now, Ma, you gotta realize that.
Right. Abraxas says nowadays kids think exploring is playing video games. Ain't that the damn truth?
Yeah, I don't play.
Yeah. Yep.
Video games, so many people are addicted to video games.
My grandson, that's 12 years old, he's the one with the computers. He's the one with the razor.
Yeah.
With that little 4-seat or 2-seated go-kart that cost $8,000.
Nope. We have a rule in our house. If you want it, you work for it.
And his dad got it for him for Christmas.
That's different. That's Christmas. Like we get our kids Christmas presents and stuff like that. But
Well, I would go. My shopping would be done by the 1st of September, and everything wrapped. And Denny would ask me, "Honey, what did I get the kids? What did I get Denny? What did I get Brian? What did he get Chris?" Because he never knew. He would go with me to do the shopping, but he never remembered. And the only thing we took off their Christmas list was the first item they put on it, because that's something that they really wanted.
right. See,
So
we have a rule in our house. Besides for like Christmas and birthdays, if you truly want something, you go out and work for it.
Yep.
And I do all the shopping.
But it's just the idea that it was really cool. And then he would tell the kids, "Gee, I don't know what I got you. You show it to me when you unwrap it."
Right.
But he knew what he picked out for him. He just forgot.
And that's what Abraxa said. That's why he could never remember.
But I don't know what I would do if I didn't have my boys. It would be worse.
Right. I was watching a video a couple of days ago where they were talking about how kids nowadays never get punished and put on a leash, and that's why at 16 they learn the thing called law and they cry and pout.
Yep.
Because honestly, if you don't teach your kids about the laws, they're not going to know the laws, and then they're going to think they're in the right.
Yep. Hang on just a minute. Chris?
Christopher!
I need you.
Yeah, I got to get going here. I got to go help a person with the roof.
I said yeah.
I need you.
No.
Someone's trying to come in. You dork.
He was on the potty.
No, I was sitting on the couch.
I'm going to have to get going, Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I got to
Yeah.
go fix this roof.
Missy, any final words for the chat?
That's what I was gonna tell you, is you gotta go. All right. Thank y'all for coming in. It's been fun. Love y'all. Love and light.
Yeah. Love you. Bye-bye.
Tanya?
Love y'all. Thank you for coming. We hope you have an amazing day. We appreciate each and every one of you. And like, comment, and subscribe. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.
And Froggy, the whole message, he was too old. That's why he couldn't remember.
He wasn't that old. Leave your damn dad alone.
No. I don't have
Happy
to.
birthday, Dad. We love you.
Lunatic Dad, it's his birthday?
No.
Oh, your dad.
Yeah.
See ya.